Well, Stefanos, bad luck on your result today. You gave absolutely everything during this match and during the tournament. What was the difference today for you?
I had trouble getting a hold of my serve in the beginning, which, was noticeable. I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was excited actually to be out on the court, getting an opportunity to fight for that number one spot tonight, and I was really looking forward to the game and giving myself a good chance out there. There are definitely things that I can improve and get better at, given the circumstances today. But I won't, I don't think there's any reason for me to be affected by today's loss. It is a step forward. I'm looking forward to scoring more points during this season. I'm making bigger results and fighting for bigger trophies. I very much enjoy the way I play, my attitude on the court, my mental stability, my concentration levels. There's still a little bit more to add to the whole structure of my game, and I couldn't be more excited to be heading towards that path.
Hands up for questions, please. Thank you.
Stefanos, I think it was in the first set, maybe the second set, it was quite noisy and the umpire was going to shush the crowd and you just cracked on and served. It was quite impressive actually, and you did it a couple of times. Were you just so locked in that you didn't even really hear it, or are you just quite happy with the noise around you? I'm interested to know what's going through your head.
I didn't pay attention to it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just mean, it happened a few times that you were just happy to, even when the crowd wasn't quiet, you just cracked on. Was that reflective of a really concentrated, focused mindset?
Perhaps, yeah. You can say so.
Catherine.
Hi, Stefanos, tough luck tonight. I just wondered what your plan was going into the match and how well you felt you were able to execute it tonight.
Well, I did everything possible in order to get a good match against him, and my team is working exceptionally to give me the best way that I can approach this, especially today. There is nothing that I didn't use to my advantage, or there's nothing that I could have extracted more for today. I did everything possible. Novak is a player that pushes you to your limits, and I don't see this as a curse. I don't see this as like something annoying. This is very good for the sport. To have competitors like him, to have champions like him, is very important for us that want to get to his point one day. And getting our, asses kicked is for sure a very good lesson every single time. He has made me a much better player. He has made my levels of concentration get higher and higher every single time I get to play him. You have to be really involved, and you have to really be dedicated to the game when you play against him. So I find it a very important part of my career to have a player like him that will help me grow better and do bigger things speaking for my game.
Scott.
Commiserations. You had some really heartfelt words for Novak on court. Was that largely spontaneous, like in the moment?
What happened?
You had some really kind words for Novak on court during your speech. Was that largely like a spontaneous decision to speak like that?
Myself or him?
For you.
Himself about me, or
no,
vice versa?
Talking about him, it was like, did you think it was a great thing to say?
I mean, look, I'm not making anything up. The numbers speak for themselves. It's 22, isn't it? We have other great champions too, like Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. Also, in my opinion, one of the best our sport has ever seen. But not only our sport, sports in general. So, I think we're blessed that we have three big champions like this. I don't want to give the whole title to him, because I believe there are other players that have contributed a lot, and they're the main reason I'm here today as well. Novak is one of them too. I've been watching him as a kid as well, and I really liked the way he did things on the court with his game. But yeah, it definitely meant it. You know, he has earned it with so much dedication that he has put in, with so much professionalism in his everyday life. It's a wake-up call for me to sort of do the same. I can only learn from that. I can only use that for my benefit, and I'm blessed that I get the opportunity to do that. And in today's world, with social media, with all the information that you can extract and use, is actually the best era to be playing tennis at.
Mark?
Steph, congratulations on the fortnight as a whole. Obviously, major disappointment right now, but when you do look back on this match, you know, you talked about you had a bit of a slow start, but do you think you'll be able to get confidence out of the fact that you were able to work yourself back into the match and have genuine chances in that second set to level it?
Look, I'm not thinking about the match anymore. I'm just happy with that I'm in another Grand Slam final. Of course, I was dreaming about the trophy, lifting that trophy. I even dreamt it last night in my sleep. So that's the desire is really there. I really want it badly. But just dreaming about it won't make it happen. You know, you gotta act. You gotta do something out there. You gotta be present even more and do better. Today I felt like there were moments where I closed, but that I was close, but the tiebreak didn't really show that both ways. Just bad starts. So I'll just eliminate it. Take the good things, and move on from there. You know, it's a long season. It's an exhausting season. I gotta be physically ready for the difficult matches that I will have to play this year against the best players in the world. So, you know, I'm just thinking ahead. I'm thinking forward and not backward. You know, losing finals is not the best feeling in the world, for sure. Might sometimes, let's say, be easier to sort of absorb a semi-final loss, because, you know, you're not dealing with the spotlight of the final. But definitely much better playing finals than being, you know, stuck behind in the semi-finals. I'll take that for sure. I just need to take that one more step where I can consistently lift trophies and win slams and Masters 1000 events.
Catherine?
Just wondered, hearing all of that and your perspective on the loss right now, if you can compare the emotions of now to at the same point after the final in Paris.
Well, Paris was heartbreaking. I was 2-0 up. I wasn't really thinking that I was 2-0 up. I mean, I was aware of it, but didn't occupy too much of my thought process. Let's say I did some technical decisions there that were wrong, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to repeat again in my career. Just pure stubbornness from my side. I can't see or feel the same again, because that was a different final of what we had today. That was disappointing for sure. A lot of not such nice things happened for me that day. Losing my grandmother the day of the final, not knowing about it but finding out later. It was something in the air that day that made it feel that there was something odd about that day. And I still remember it, and I don't want to remember it because it's not a nice feeling. It's mixed emotions, because, you know, I played my first Grand Slam final, and at the same time I had that circumstance. So just moving on. Happy life.
Last one in the room. Yep.
Stefanos, when after New York last year, we spoke. I remember speaking to you in one of the side rooms, and you talked about how the possibility of getting quite close to number one had been on your mind that summer. I wondered, and you said it maybe affected you a little bit, as I recall. I wondered if you thought about it at all over these 2 weeks, and you've obviously now been within one win of world number one. Is that going to be more or less of a focus, and has it been on your mind at all?
Well, I want to max out in what I do in my profession, and, you know, number one is on my mind. It doesn't come easy. I know that. I gotta work harder to make that happen. Today was my opportunity to be a world number one. I had a better opponent on the other side of the net, who did things much better than me. He deserves that spot currently. What I can say is, being on the tour for a few years now, I get a lot of different experiences. I get a lot of different things that I'm faced with. It's my time to aim for something like this. I don't see any reason to be lowering my expectations or my goals. And I'm born a champion. I can feel it in my blood. I can feel it as a competitive kid that I was when I was young. It's something that is within me, and I want to harvest that, make it bloom, make it even stronger and fonder, and work hard towards those goals. It's that beautiful number one, that will make things extremely emotional when converting that.